Okay, so why would someone like me be turning around to you suddenly and saying that prayer doesn't work? Well, this is where we go back to the old chestnut of what the word works actually means. Do you remember that there was some study done whereby a group of people were prayed over during their time in hospital and they actually got better, and this was published in various articles, various biased pro-theist articles saying that the power of prayer works. And then subsequently, a little while after that, the very same people basically got really rather ill. So there's lots of people who said after that, with their own biased broadcasts and their own biased blogs, okay, now we have proof that the power of prayer doesn't work. Well, neither of these two things actually answer the question, namely, what is the force of prayer? Essentially, how does it operate? Under what circumstances does it operate? Under what circumstances does it not operate? Is there not only a psychological component and a placebo component, but also something which is operating in a way which we do not properly understand at this present point in time? And under the assumption that there is another force which operates within the world in a certain way, under what circumstances can one say that there is a result, and in what particular ways it has a particular effect? Essentially, the issue we've got is not with the phenomenon of prayer, but the phenomenon of the English language and how we use it to express various ideas, especially in this particular case, the efficacy or non-efficacy of prayer. For me to turn around to you and say that the power of prayer works is to provide an absolute statement. It is wrong for me to do that. It is right for me to say from knowledge that prayer can be used as an altered state of consciousness type experience, and as a result of that one can achieve within it the things that one could normally do under any other, like hypnotic state or mesmeric state of a similar type and nature. That much I can say, but that also limits to a certain degree the ability for us to understand how the forces actually occur. We have to think very carefully about the use of language and why people use language in various different ways, because the meaning which is expressed by language, especially when one is dealing with forces of nature and how they either work or how they do not work, can significantly bias an individual or a group of people's understanding of what the force is actually capable of or not capable of. And this is one reason why we have to be very careful and vigilant when people are talking about, in this particular case, prayer, and also other things such as spell casting, ritual magic, or sympathetic magic, and all the rest of those. There has not been sufficient in-depth studies to be able to work out in what ways they operate. Obviously, it's very useful to have people like Dean Radin, who pointed out the connection between intention, attention, and any apparent or alleged results. But there's still more work to be done, to be quite honest. So we can't really stop there. This is just another reason why I personally carry on experimenting, exploring, and experiencing, trying to build up a reserve of personal experiences, not necessarily to say that these are scientific studies, but maybe there's something in what I will experience which might have some kind of use or correlation to something else which is being discovered or researched into at some point in the future. Remember that we have to be careful about the use of language, and we have to show a great deal of responsibility to the way in which we use language, especially when talking about the occult. Okay? And of course, religious phenomenon as well. I mean, I can turn around to you and I can say that I've seen a ghost. Does that mean to say there's life after death? No. What it means to say is there's a certain experience that I had which seemed to have certain defining characteristics which one could roughly attribute to something of the same order or nature of a supernatural experience. But precisely what it was, precisely what it means, these things we cannot say. Okay? So that's why the occult, the supernatural, magic, and religious phenomenon basically remain experiential and experimental until such time as humankind has grown up and started to use its language properly. Okay? Great and glorious, soon to be famous one day in Dutch, signing out for now.